Right, good evening, everyone. My name is Veronica Oplins, and I'm co-chair of the Center City Residents Association Zoning Committee, and welcome to tonight's meeting. The CCRA is a 75-year-old nonprofit civic association. As a nonprofit, we encourage everyone to become a member, which can easily be done through our website. There are several benefits to being a member, one of which is being notified of all proposed zoning changes within our area. CCRA is the recognized registered community organization, RCO, for our area. Our boundaries are from South Street to JFK and Broad Street to the Schuylkill River. Our committee works as follows. First, applicants are to present. We ask applicants address the specific refusals or referrals. We ask for no interruption as applicants give their full presentation. After the presentation, the zoning committee will have a chance to ask questions. After the zoning committee's questions are completed, we open the meeting to the community. When addressed, we ask that you state your name and address. We ask that you keep your questions succinct and to the variance being addressed. We also ask that people not repeat others' questions. If you agree with someone's position, you're welcome to simply state that. If there's a spokesperson for the neighbors, we ask that that person stand, or not stand, but speak first for the group. After we hear from all applicants and listen to the community comments, our committee votes in closed session. We vote in one of three ways: oppose, or not oppose with provisos. CCRA never votes in favor of any application. Our decision is emailed to the council person, the ZBA, the Zoning Board of Adjustments, and the applicant, and is also posted on the CCRA website. Importantly, no matter how we decide, if you are concerned with a project, we strongly recommend that you attend the ZBA meeting. This is the best way to make your concerns known. The CCRA Zoning Committee cannot express the neighbor's point of view. Only a property owner or aggrieved individual may express their personal concerns to the ZBA. With that, our first and only applicant is 2028 Locust Street, which is zoned RM1. And this is for the application for partial demolition to remove a single-story portion on Latimer Street and replace with deck accessed from the rear second floor, and to remove side window bay at second story of an existing attached structure. Size and location is shown on plan application. For use as single-family household living with one accessory surface parking space accessed via Latimer Street. And the reason for the refusal, and again, just in a reminder, a refusal means that the burden is on the applicant to demonstrate why the community should accept the zoning change. The reason for the refusal is, one, decks in front yards. Decks are prohibited in required front yards, whereas the proposed deck is within the required front setback between the facade of the building and the lot line along Latimer Street, which is required to be a front yard. And two, dimensional standards. The minimum stall depth of a parking space shall be 18 feet, whereas the proposed location of the parking space on the plans has no dimension equal or greater than 18 feet, and therefore is non-compliant parking space. And therefore no compliant parking space is possible in this area. So I believe that the representative attorney is Mr. Adam Laver, is that right?
Yes, good evening.
Good evening. So I will turn it over to you and give you the floor and invite you to present.
Thank you, Veronica, members of the CCRA Zoning Committee, and neighbors who are with us this evening. My name is Adam Laver. I'm a attorney at Blank Rome and a Center City resident as well. With us this evening are the homeowners, Allison Friedman and Sam Miller, wife and husband of the owner-occupied residence at 2028 Locust Street. And with them as well is their architect, Joe Morrison, who's here this evening if any specific questions come up. By way of background, and I'll screen share it in a moment. I'd like to mention Center City, and her mother lives close by. Sam and Allison are recognizable in the neighborhood as the parents of Putnick, and Cushion. And I will get us to some more substantive photos in a moment. Here we go. When Allison and Sam purchased this property in 2022, and we're looking right now at the image here to the right or to the east off of Latimer Street. They purchased the single-family residence which exists, which was sold to them with a deeded parking space. And in the course of living, they found out that it wasn't documented. And largely that's why we're here this evening. 2028 Locust Street contains a small courtyard containing this carport, the brick area to the right of the masonry wall here. And this is actually behind the neighboring home on Locust Street. So we're south of Locust. And to the right or to the east is Allison and Sam's existing single-family residence. And I'll be able to show you in a moment with some aerial images exactly what we're speaking about. But before getting to the images, I'd like to just share a few points with you. The space itself is approximately 12 feet 3 inches deep. Instead of 18 feet for a regular car space or 16 feet depth for the compact car space that we're seeking. So the variance before the zoning board will be for 3 feet and 9 inches. The pending proposal, which Veronica, you shared with everyone, is to remove one-story addition, the gray area, the second floor roof deck, and in the footprint of that demolished work, add a deck above a backyard space for this young couple, to remove the bay window at the second floor and reuse existing windows in a new framed wall. As I'm sure most of you know, there is no parking along Latimer Street itself, in the cartway, that is. I always like to begin with the notice of refusal because that's the official document that Ellen and I will review, that the zoning board will review, and I've taken the liberty of highlighting a few points just to hone in. We see that this is a refusal requiring variance relief, that we're in the RM1 zoning district, and the property address is identified. I won't read through the application language itself, but you can see that there are 2 use refusals, which were already mentioned. Here I'd like to place the property in context. We can see Rittenhouse Square towards the right or the east, the towering Dorchester, and then with my wobbly hand, I circled 2028 Locust Street, but we are approaching it from the rear. So this is Latimer Street that we're seeing right here, where the circle is right behind the church, which fronts on 20th Street and proceeds westwardly. Here we can see the subject property from Locust Street looking southwardly. None of the work is proposed along Locust Street. Everything is proposed along Latimer. I simply wanted to place this in context for everyone. And here we can see a view from the west looking east. If you can see my cursor, this would be 21st Street, and Latimer dead ends actually at the back of the church. The subject property is to the left here in this photo, or towards the north. Here we can see Latimer Street off of 21st Street, which clearly shows no outlet. And we see the Dorchester to the east, which is beyond the block because the church would come in before it. And here we have a sense of the actual lot lines, the actual deeded property in red. So to the north would be Locust, and here we are at Latimer, and just west of the main property is the location of the parking that has existed there. You can also see along the block the other lots, and you can see the dead end to the east, and this is church property. I'd like to zoom in for a moment because this is an aerial photograph. You can see a car parked in the location that we're looking to document. You can see another car close by, not our property. The trees cover some additional parking, and farther to the east on Latimer, you can see additional parking. Just to give you the surrounding sense of what that block is like. Here, really not relevant, but just to put it into perspective, context, this handsome property is the 2028 Locust Street. This is the entrance to Allison and Sam's home. And here we are back where we had started, just to take you to Latimer Street. And again, their property is this brick area, and over here to the right, the existing single family with some modifications that are proposed. We're looking here farther east on Latimer Street, and the parking here that you can see at the dead end, I believe, is part of the church property. The yellow car to the right is parked in Allison and Sam's space, and gives you a sense of why we believe that this documentation and confirmation is appropriate and not intrusive to this block. You can also see in this photograph that there is no parking along the cartway, as I had previously mentioned. And I'd like to point out and recognize that to the south side of Latimer is mainly front doors of people who live along this block. And you'll see as we go through that the most impacted neighbors, all of the most impacted neighbors are supportive of this request that's pending before the zoning board. Here is another photograph looking at the carport as it is right now, not impeding upon the public right-of-way. Why? Because what Allison and Sam are seeking, and we will document this on the record at the zoning board, is compact car parking. Here's a photograph taken recently from the 21st perspective, looking eastwardly along Latimer Street at several cars parked in various states along the north side of Latimer. Again, to put this in context for this committee and for the neighbors who are participating this evening. And just some examples of what one sees along that block. The yellow again is Allison and Sam's space. Here is the zoning plan that we have submitted to licenses and inspections. And in yellow, I highlighted 1-story with second floor roof deck to be removed to first floor level, 140 square feet, replaced with first floor open deck over existing areaway below. So we'll see in some nice renderings that Joe prepared that we are actually adding back more open space to the property, which is not there through these plans, hopefully with your non-opposition. And just to the west is that parking space that I had mentioned, which shows exactly what I had said earlier, 12 feet 3 inches deep instead of 18 feet for regular parking, 16 feet I'd like to state on compact parking. That's a variance of 3 feet 9 inches. And here are the elevations that I had mentioned that Joe prepared for this evening. On the left side, you can see existing, and please remember those photographs I had shared. And then in gray is what would be demolished, and in yellow is what's proposed. So we go from a roof deck that's higher up to a lower roof deck, more eyes and ears on the street, if you will, with these windows out onto Latimer. And reuse of windows and a nice area for courtyard below. And here we can see from the west just the bay window removal and the new work as well. Allison and Sam have not lived at this property for long, as I've shared with you, but they have become integral parts of their near community. And this is reflected in the support of nearby neighbors, primarily owner occupants, such as 2022 Locust Street, 2018 Locust Street, 2026 Locust Street, which is a rental apartment building, I must state, which is but immediately next door. 2030 Locust Street immediately next door. And then perhaps most significantly along Latimer Street, immediately across from the subject property, immediately across from the parking space and the proposed work, both 2028 Latimer Street's owners and 2030 Latimer Street's owners welcome the proposed changes. Just in conclusion, in terms of the exhibits I wanted to share with you, I wanted to bring us back to existing photograph of the single-family residence. We know where the parking is, but I wanted to just remind you that we're taking the improvements and pulling back, becoming in some ways more in tune with the zoning code itself to provide outdoor space underneath the proposed new roof deck. And just another photograph. And with that, I'll stop screen sharing. Of course, I'm happy to bring back any of the photographs or other exhibits should committee members or public wish. But we thank you for your consideration. And the full members of the team are here, the homeowners and Joe Morrison, their architect.
Well, thank you, Adam. That was a very clear and complete presentation, so thank you for that. I'd like to now open up the floor to questions from the committee, and I'm wondering whether we can go ahead and start. Bob Lane, can I start with you?
Adam, that was a very full and clear presentation. Thank you very much.
Hi, Bob. Thank you.
I haven't been able to find any negative about this, so I'll search for it. Have any neighbors been negative about this?
We are not aware of any, and Allison and Sam don't want there to be any, meaning they really want to be welcomed by their neighbors. And I know it was a little unusual for me to just for fun throw in their dogs, but they really are known in the neighborhood. We're not aware of any concerns. We're not hiding anything. We want to talk with everyone. And
I think that's clear from your presentation. And it looks to me that like that space has been there for a long time.
it really has, Bob. I mean, we all live in the neighborhood. Probably most of us aren't walking along Latimer because it dead ends. Of course, I went around to take a look myself. But that space and other spaces, I don't want to comment on other spaces and code compliance or lack thereof, but I really think that this one fits the intent of the zoning code, particularly as it's being proposed to be documented.
I have no further questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Other committee members who have questions, I invite you to raise your hands and I'll call on you as in the order that I see you to the best of my abilities. Ben Zuckerman, and then I saw Janice Woodcock.
As I understand it, the deck that's proposed is smaller than the deck that exists now. Is that correct?
Yes, Ben.
And the existing deck now is non-conforming, is that right?
That's true. That's true.
And there will be no
Or
stairs,
conformance.
and there will be no stairs from this deck down to the street. It's just access from inside the house.
Correct.
Okay, I think that answers my question. So thank you very much. Very clear.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Janice Woodcock.
For a great presentation, Adam, as always, and welcome to the neighborhood, Allison. And I'm sorry, the two names are not up there, but
Yeah.
Sam.
I do live, you won't believe it, I'm about 200 feet from you right now. I live on Rittenhouse Street, but I will tell you, the only thing that gets me is that when you guys are going to get the compact space, so when I walk up and down these streets all times of day, as everyone knows, early in the morning, late at night, and a lot of people park with their car out over the sidewalk, and your car is less than a compact space. I don't know, is there any way to, I mean, I think it's, you're going to get what you need because your car is not a big car, but what about the next person? That's my only concern. I find that for whatever reason, other people who have these kinds of spaces that back to streets are often blocking sidewalks. And that's my main concern.
It's a fair concern. It's a really legitimate concern. And I wanted to come to this committee and this community this evening and say, this is a standard, this is what a standard size car is. This is what a compact car is. And based on my research, you really can't do that because every car is different. So I'm acknowledging, Janice, what you just said. I would say that looking along this block and looking at other similar instances in the neighborhood, we know that enforcement is difficult and that PPA and other enforcement agencies really aren't able to focus at this moment in time for budgetary reasons or whatever on blocks such as this. So I think that it is a good planning concept to look to have records of appropriate types of parking. And I would say to have a documented record of appropriate parking it should actually be a model. But I fully concede and recognize that this space, like all the other spaces, enforcement is a separate issue that there's no easy way to address. Here, this is the last thing I'll say in response to what you just mentioned. Here we do have homeowners who are coming forward proactively to say, we want to do the right thing, we want to document.
May I just ask one follow-up question then? Would it be acceptable that this variance only goes with these owners?
I know, because I don't think my response is surprising you. Right, zoning runs with the land, different than a license. And the efforts that they're putting in, and they just purchased this and they're planning renovations. And quite frankly, they're young, they want to be here for a long time. And they have roots in the community. I think it's an unfair penalty to place upon them.
Thank you again for your transparency. Very much appreciated.
Always.
Thank you. I'll continue to call on committee members. Ben Weinrob, then it'll be Sylvie Lorente, then Ben Zuckerman, then Alex Roederer, and then Sam Gordon. So
Hi, Ben.
Thanks for the presentation. Hope all's well. All for the parking across the other side of Locust, as you know, down the block, and everything else. Question really for you, Adam. Is the 16-foot, meaning the orientation of the parking spot, required to be perpendicular to the street according to the streets department?
The depth would be 90 degrees. So yeah,
It can't be parallel to the street?
at 16 feet, there are different regulations in the code when it comes to that. The parallel would not, in my mind, make sense here. I'd have to give that some thought, Ben. But what's proposed is depth north-south.
Gotcha. So there are different dimensions if it is parallel versus perpendicular.
Yes, there are.
Okay, my only question. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right,
Sure.
thank you. Sylvie Lorente?
Yes, maybe that was mentioned, but I'm not sure. And then I missed it. I was wondering if the size of this new deck will it reduce the size of the parking lot, or do you expect zero impact?
I did not directly address that, so thank you for raising it. This will not reduce in any way the size of that space.
Okay, thank you. No further
course.
comments.
Thank you. Ben Zuckerman?
Yeah, Adam, you said something at the beginning that they purchased the property with a deeded parking space. Can you expand on that a little bit more?
Sure, not directly relevant to what the zoning board is reviewing, but for the lawyers in the room and friends of lawyers, the equities here are disturbing. The properties, Ben, was marketed and listed as containing parking, having approved parking. And as somebody mentioned earlier, maybe it was even you, forgive me, parking has been there for a long time, but it was not properly documented. But these folks were duped, quite frankly.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
All right, thank you. Ben Zuckerman, you just asked your question, is that correct?
Yes.
Alex Roderer?
Sure, I just one of the photo files that was included in the package that we received had a Volvo XC90 in the picture in the parking spot, I believe. Is that an old picture, like not the applicant's car? Because you showed a little yellow sort of compact.
Yes, you're right. There have been different photographs shown. I also included some public record photos with the aerials, which are old photos. The Allison and Sam are looking to purchase a new car actually, but they don't want to do it until this is approved. And what you see with the yellow car is along the lines of they're committed to a compact car.
Thank you.
Not any of the older cars that you saw in the photos.
Cool, thanks.
Thanks for the clarification.
All right, thank you. Sam Gordon?
You're on
Sam,
mute,
muted.
Sam.
You
Good
need to
to see you,
unmute
Sam.
yourself.
I try. Okay, that's better. Okay, so the existing one-story addition, focusing on the house,
Mhm.
is that whole one-story addition coming down? Is that being removed back to the plane of the second and third floor of the house? This is probably for Joe. And you want
Yeah,
to mute yourself too.
Joe, if you could unmute and speak architect to Sam, that would be good. I could answer, but it's better from you. And in the meantime, I'm going to go back and while Joe's getting on, I'm going to pull up the screen share and the exhibit that Joe had. Are you there, Joe?
I am. Yeah, I'll wait till you have your images up.
Okay, 1 second.
So I'm looking at the section. It looks like you're removing that addition, the whole existing gray and brick addition,
Yes,
like above.
that was something that was added, we think, in the 80s, that one-story addition, and
Does this help?
the other
one. Okay. Here we go.
Yeah. So it's a one story portion of the building with a roof deck on top that comes off the second floor. So we're taking all of that down, really back to the original south face of the building, and putting our new deck where you would step out from the first floor onto our new almost street level deck. There is a little balconette that we would, have in place at the second story.
Okay. I don't know this off the top of my head. Would that be allowable if this was an alley and not a street? Do you know?
We'll go back to Adam on that.
Yes, my opinion is it would. And actually, Sam, I'm not 100% sure that I agree fully with Ellen and I's interpretation on the one of the two refusals. I actually was in touch with Ellen and I today, and they issued a corrected refusal, which is very minor, and I shared it with Veronica, and she probably shared it with you, regarding one link to the code, which is 14-701 2C6A, because the first reference in the original refusal made no sense. But I think it's a strange interpretation for a street like this to treat it as both a front and a rear in different ways. I didn't want to get bogged down in it because I felt it was more important to have a transparent discussion with everyone regarding what's proposed, but I think it's a gray area right now in terms of the relief that Ellen I says is required. And to your hypothetical situation, if this was an alley and not a street, it very clearly would not be going before the board on that point.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Charles Robin?
Thank you. I want to speak to Janice's concern and also speak as a neighbor. As I mentioned before the meeting started, I own 2026 Locust Street, which is directly to the east of this property. And how I honestly view this is a legalization of the existing use. I've owned 2026 Locust Street for 26 years. And all the time that I've owned it, I can't think of this time where this parking space didn't exist. And I do know that the fact that it doesn't go, sugar, it's an emergency. I'll get back to you, Brenda, please. And the fact that the parking space isn't deep enough, I'll just say this one point, the fact that Latimer Street is a dead-end street. If you do traverse Latimer Street, you do walk down the center of the cobblestone. And I know all my neighbors, as everyone here knows, I know the neighbors on Latimer Street, a few of them, and all my years, it's 26 years, I've never heard anybody come up to me and say, Charles, they know me as a neighbor, know me on the zoning committee. This is a problem for us. So I'm going to vote in non-opposition when it comes to my time to vote. But I know the Friedmans, they made themselves known to me. They've been good neighbors. And I just see this as something that's been there since I've known the property for 26 years.
All right. Well, thank you for that clear commentary, Charles. Ben Weinrob?
Thank you. I just wanted to circle back. My point, Adam, where I was headed was if they give you any kind of an issue at the ZBA, can you get the 16 feet, could you give it to them the other way in order to get it legalized? Meaning the stairs immediately to the east with the 11, I think it says 8.5 foot on the plans going east-west, again, just another option for you. If this doesn't work out, that's where I was headed, was if you do something with the stair, I think that stair goes down, the first one, right? That's going to remain to the basement level. I lost track of a couple of things in the images. But if you include the width of that first stair and could do with some modification to what they're doing, you could certainly get 16 feet east-west. Doesn't mean that's how it needs to be utilized, but it could be legal.
Right. No, I appreciate that. Thank you. I hope that we go into this zoning hearing with the non-opposition of CCRA. We're all having a candid discussion. I truly believe that the zoning board will understand why de minimis relief is appropriate in this case.
Final question, the width of a parking spot, is there, I missed that in your initial, what do they need, 9 feet the other way?
It's 8.5.
8.5, okay, thank you.
Actually 8 for a compact, but we have the space.
Gotcha, thanks.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you. I'd like to call on myself and ask a clarifying question, Adam. I heard you mention that the size for parking, it's 18 feet for a regular car, 16 feet for a compact. The cars that you're talking about are about 12.5 feet, and that's a subcompact. A number of subcompacts are that length. Can you clarify, is there a subcompact parking category in the zoning code? Or is it just?
No, it's regular or compact.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that. Are there any other questions? All right. Well, seeing none, I want to thank you, Adam, and Allison and her husband for and Jim for having been present for such a clear presentation and comprehensive. I think we've covered plenty of questions. I don't see any near neighbors here on the call, so there's no need to call on them. They're not here. You provided letters of support. So I want to thank you for your presentation. And at this point, we'll close this portion of the meeting and the committee will meet in closed session and we will discuss this case at that time. So thank you so much.
Thank you on behalf of Allison, Sam, and Joe as well. We're all going to follow directions and sign off. As always, if anyone has any questions, suggestions, wants to be in touch, please don't hesitate. We thank you all for volunteering your time. Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
For sure.
I'll end the recording.